ever, stop and think about what really makes a world oppressive or what makes a villain tick.
Yeah, those darker fictional worlds, they have a real pull, don't they?
They really do. And sometimes digging into how they work, the sort of nuts and bolts of them, helps you see the bigger picture.
Exactly. You appreciate the story's themes more deeply.
Which is exactly what we're doing today. We got this great batch of YouTube analyses from a listener, all focused on, well, the Hunger Games.
Ah, Panem.
Yes. We're focusing specifically on the history, how Panem came to be, and trying to get a handle on President Snow, Coriolanus Snow.
Okay, so the mission basically is to map out that complex backstory, understand the roots of the oppression, and what turned Snow into the tyrant we see later.
Precisely, like a quick guide through the lore, hitting those aha moments without getting totally bogged down. We want to dissect how Panem's system started and, what shaped Snow.
Right. So where do we start? The beginning of Panem itself, I guess.
Let's do it, unpacking the genesis.
Okay, so the timeline. It's not nailed down perfectly in the sources, but the analyses piece together a pretty compelling story.
Yeah, it's not like there's a specific date, Panem founded on X, but there are theories.
One big one is this idea that it's not some super distant future, but more like an alternate reality, one that branched off from our own world.
That's fascinating. How?
Well, one analysis posits this link to World War II, but a version that dragged on maybe didn't properly end until, say, 1949.
Wow, okay. A much longer, more devastating conflict.
Imagine the global chaos, resources depleted, governments unstable.
And then layer on top of that ecological disasters. The sources mention rising sea levels, and like ancient plagues or crop pests unleashed from melting ice caps.
Exactly. A real convergence of catastrophes, just nightmare fuel, really.
So the result, according to these analyses, is total breakdown. Governments collapse, populations decimated, especially, it seems, in North America.
A power vacuum.
Which is where the capital comes in. They emerge from the chaos, setting up shop in the Rocky Mountains. Smart move geographically.
Very strategic. Away from the coasts, defensible. And they had a trump card.
Nukes.
Nuclear weapon. But the theory isn't just that they had them, it's how they used them. Possibly delayed action weapons used horrifically to basically wipe out any other potential power centers globally.
It is securing total dominance. Brutal.
Absolutely brutal. A foundation built on calculated destruction.
But it wasn't just military might, was it? There was an ideology there, too.
Oh, definitely. The sources really stress this conscious effort to model Panem on the Roman Empire.
Right, the powerful capital, the subservient districts like Rome and its provinces.
It was intentional. They saw themselves as the new Rome, setting up that same kind of hierarchy. It wasn't accidental, it was a strategy.
And that leads straight to bread and circuses, right? Panem et circenses. Plutarch talks about it. It wasn't just about controlling the districts, but keeping the capital citizens in line, too.
Exactly. There was this implicit deal, wasn't there? You live in luxury, you get all the comforts.
That you turn a blind eye to how that luxury is funded. You accept the exploitation of the districts.
Total obedience for comfort. It basically bought the capital citizens' complicity. A gilded cage, really, built on the backs of the districts.
So you've got this oppressive system set up, this structure. Rebellion seems inevitable.
And it happened, which leads directly to the Hunger Games.
The capital's response, initially, the games were just raw punishment, right?
Yeah. Brutally simple. A way to hammer home the capital's power, remind everyone what happened to District 13, and punish any past defiance. An annual show of force.
But it was more twisted than just punishment. That whole thing about forcing the districts to treat it like a festival.
Humiliation. Yeah, making them celebrate the deaths of their own children. It's another layer of control, just psychologically devastating.
And yet, amidst all that horror, they dangled this little shred of hope.
The prizes for the victor. Food, supplies, a slightly better life for one district. It's that line from Snow, isn't it? Hope is the only thing stronger than fear.
Chilling. And it's a really effective manipulation, giving just enough hope to stop widespread despair turning into outright revolt.
And it's interesting, the sources point out the games weren't always this big TV spectacle we see later.
Oh, how did they start?
Much cruder. Apparently held in an old basic sporting arena, tributes treated inhumanely, maybe kept in cages like animals, starved, then just thrown in and told to kill each other.
Wow. No pageantry, just brutality.
Pretty much raw, ugly violence.
Okay, so this is where Coriolanus Snow really enters the picture. He wasn't just the president later on. He actually shaped the games, right, when he was younger?
Yes, hugely influential. During his time as a mentor, and later likely as a game maker, he introduced so many key elements.
Like what?
Well, betting, making it a gamble for the capital audience, the whole Victor's Village concept, creating different themed arenas each year, making viewing mandatory.
So forcing everyone to watch.
And the district-wide prizes. That idea of rewarding the whole district, not just the victor's family. He basically turned it from that raw display into a sophisticated tool of psychological control and entertainment.
He gave it a kind of twisted philosophy too, didn't he? Beyond just punishment.
One analysis suggests he saw it as a form of perpetual contained war, a way to prevent bigger conflicts by having these controlled battles each year.
A constant reminder of humanity's violent nature.
Exactly. And that, in his mind, justified the capital's tight grip. He seemed to believe humanity needed that control to survive, that the capital was essential.
That twisted sense of necessity. Okay, so that's the games. How does Snow himself go from being this, ambitious young man involved in the games to the actual monster president?
It's a journey. And the sources point to his early life being absolutely critical. The war scarred him deeply.
Saw terrible things.
Yes. Mentions of witnessing atrocities, even cannibalism, things that would leave a mark on anyone.
Plus he lost his parents, right? Both of them.
Yeah. His father in a rebel trap, his mother in childbirth. That leaves a young person incredibly vulnerable, lacking support, especially in such a chaotic time. Fear becomes a driving force.
And his family, the Snows, they were prestigious but fell on hard times.
Exactly. Post-war poverty.
But here's the thing, the analyses stress. He never seemed to connect his family's struggles with the district's suffering. He saw his situation as temporary, an injustice to his noble family, not part of a systemic problem.
No empathy there, basically.
Very little, it seemed, which sets the stage for the people who influenced him. His grandmother, for instance.
She sounds like quite the character.
Yeah.
Hated the districts.
Deeply. Viewed them as barbaric, blamed them for everything the capital suffered. Apparently had these sayings, like the districts only drink water because blood doesn't rain from the sky.
Yikes.
Yeah, and warning him they'd use him. That kind of constant poison definitely shaped his worldview.
But then there was Tigris, his cousin, a different influence.
A complete contrast. Sources paint her as empathetic, kind, a sort of moral counterweight, trying to reach. Did it work?
For a while, maybe she offered glimpses of something else. But eventually, heartbreaking, she seems to realize he's too far gone, sees too much of his cruel father in him.
And then the big one. Dr. Gaul, head game maker.
Ah, yes, Dr. Villainy Gaul, his mentor. She seems absolutely pivotal in cementing his philosophy.
What did she teach?
Control, the inherent savagery of people, the need for a strong hand, the capital, the Leviathan, this powerful state to keep order. That humanity left to its own devices would just destroy itself.
And that war itself needed to be controlled.
That was a key lesson, apparently. Don't let it get out of hand. Control it, manage it, which Snow then applies directly to the Hunger Games and maybe even how the peacekeepers operate.
These influences are pulling him in different directions, and his relationships seem like turning points. Sejanus Plinth.
Their friendship is complicated and ultimately tragic. Snow initially uses Sejanus for social standing, but always fears being tainted by Sejanus's district origins and empathy.
And Snow betrays him in the end.
Massive. A huge step down his dark path. Choosing self-preservation over loyalty or friendship really shows his manipulative core and his fear.
Then there's Lucy Graybeard, the tribute he mentored in the 10th Games.
A huge relationship. Initially, he looks down on her, right? Sees her as just another district girl.
But it gets complicated.
Very. It's this mix of maybe some genuine feelings, but also strategy, manipulation. He helps her, smuggles food, coaches her for the cameras.
But he's jealous, too, of her past.
Seems so. And then that incredibly chilling moment where he suggests rat poison. It's like a flash of the future Snow.
And the arena incident, he kills someone to save Sejanus.
Yeah, a tribute. And Dr. Gaul apparently uses that moment to teach him about choice, about his true nature. Seems like a real point of no return for him.
Even small things seem significant. His hatred for mockingjays.
Right, because they were a symbol of the capital losing control, weren't they?
Yeah.
Born from those failed jabberjays. And they remind him of Lucy Gray. He even suggests using them for target practice. It's all about control.
And the end with Lucy Gray. The escape, the paranoia, him hunting her. It's ambiguous, but it feels like the final nail in the coffin for his humanity.
Absolutely. His paranoia spirals, thinking his snakebite is a trap set by her.
Yeah.
His rationalizations for why he might have had to kill her. And the fact that her fate is unknown, but the mockingjays, her symbol, are later used against him. The irony is thick.
And he gets rid of his mother's compact.
A powerful symbol, discarding that last link to maybe some softer part of himself, fully embracing his father's ruthless nature.
So after the 10th Games, he heads back to the capital. What happens then?
The transformation really solidifies. He gets taken in by the Plinth Sejanus' wealthy parents. A strategic move, obviously.
Keeps learning from Dr. Gaul.
Continues that mentorship. And internally, he's building this justification for everything he's done, everything he will do. It's all necessary for survival, for order, even for evolution.
And he starts climbing the ladder.
Slowly, deliberately, learning to project strength, crushing dissent, removing rivals. This is where the poisoning likely starts becoming his method.
Leading to the Rosa.
The white rose, yeah. And the perfume to mask the scent of poison from the sores in his mouth. caused by handling it. His chilling signature.
So by the time Katniss Everdeen comes along,
He's the fully formed President Snow. Manipulative, controlling, seeing echoes of Lucy Gray and Katniss, trying desperately to manage this new rebellion, and ultimately failing.
it's quite a descent. You mentioned he saw the system as fragile.
Yeah, but interestingly, not because the system itself was bad, but because the shining capital was surrounded by these oppressed masses who might rise up. His fear was external.
And some sources even question the motives of the first rebellion, District 13.
There's a cynical view suggested, that maybe it wasn't purely about freedom. Maybe it was also about them wanting power for themselves. We don't know for sure, but it adds another layer of complexity.
So after Snow is gone, what hope is there for Panem? The original rebel ideals were for a republic?
Well, that was the initial vision, Representatives for everyone, districts and capital. But there's caution, too.
Plutarch Heavensby's view.
Exactly. He's hopeful, maybe, but also deeply cynical about humanity. Calls us fickle, stupid beings with poor memories and a great gift for self-destruction.
Doesn't exactly inspire confidence.
No, but he also suggests maybe, just maybe, we can learn.
And Katniss is pretty cynical, too. Her comment about ancestors messing up the planet.
Right. There's this undercurrent of, can we really do better?
But the possibility is there. Even after all that darkness, the idea of rebuilding, learning from it, it lingers. Makes you think about our own world, too.
Definitely. These cycles of power, control, rebellion, the need to remember the past to avoid repeating it. It's very relevant.
So wrapping this up, we've gone through Panem's violent birth, the evolution of the Hunger Games from punishment to this complex control mechanism.
And traced Snow's own transformation. The trauma, the influences, the choices that led him down that path to tyranny.
Key takeaways. Panem's oppression was deliberately built. The games were a tool, using fear and hope. And Snow, he was shaped by hardship, ideology, and key relationships, ultimately choosing control over compassion.
A chilling look at how tyranny can take root, both in a society and in an individual.
It really leaves you thinking, doesn't it? About power, about history repeating itself. Can societies truly break free from those cycles? Can genuine change stick?
Or is the pull towards control, towards repeating mistakes, just too strong? Exploring Panem and Snow definitely gives you a lens to think about those big questions in our own world. The allure of power, the importance of empathy.
Definitely food for thought. Well, thanks for diving deep with us into the dark history of Panem.
Yeah, fascinating stuff.
Until the next deep dive, keep pondering those big questions.